All right, this next news story comes to us. It's kind of a twofer. There's two different news stories, but they're both pertaining to the Game Awards. This one's from Tom Ivan over at VGC. So this first one, Xbox is teasing important announcements for December's Game Awards. In promotional materials distributed this week, the company said important announcements are planned for the event, along with other exciting Xbox news. It wrote, celebrate the best games of the year and the big winners live at the Game Awards on December 7th, which, by the way, we have not announced it yet. I need to put out a post or something about this. We are going to be live streaming this Thursday night, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Adrian and I will be live reacting to the Game Awards as we do every year. So here's the first announcement. We'll put out a post this week with more deets. And then, just catch us Thursday, December 7th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Over at twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys, and we dual stream, so it'll be over at youtube.com/Super Gamer Boys as well. But anyways, back to this news story here. Microsoft previously used 2019's Game Awards to unveil its Xbox Series X console, and Ninja Theory's Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Legal documents published inadvertently in September potentially laid bare key elements of the company's gaming strategy for years to come, including plans to launch a redesigned Xbox Series X console codenamed Brooklyn in 2024. The Game Awards 2023 will be streamed live from Peacock Theater in Los Angeles next week. Last year's 9th edition of the annual event was a major production featuring musical guests from an onstage orchestra, and I should know how to pronounce this guy's name. Hozier? Yeah. Is that his name? Okay. Celebrity guest, an award show, new game reveals, and more. Major announcements include the long-anticipated reveals of Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding 2 and BioShock creator Ken Levine's new game, Judas. So, yeah, basically, Xbox is back after being MIA last year. So I don't know if you remember, the listeners remember, but yeah, 2022, Xbox did not show anything official. There was third-party stuff coming to Xbox, and there might have even been like a quote-unquote commercial for Game Pass, if I remember right. I don't remember if there was that. But they did not have no world premieres, no reveals, no nothing. Like, Xbox was absent at the Game Awards. And as far as I know, I don't think they really had anything that got nominated either, if I remember right. So, like, not only were there no reveals, but they didn't release anything in 2022, so they didn't get any nominated for anything either, I don't think. So
I don't know.
They were just not there.
Because
everything was supposed to come out last year ended up coming out this year, like Starfield, Redfall. I think there was something else, but yeah, like anything Xbox was going to reveal. So basically, they ghosted. They were just gone, non-existent at the Game Awards last year. So people are stoked. What are your thoughts on the potential announcements? Because like it says here, they kind of have a couple ideas, like, ooh, maybe we hear more. Actually, they don't say anything here. Oh yeah, they do. They mentioned do we get the Xbox Series X Slim announcement here? Are we going to get an announcement for, Kojima is technically making a game with Xbox, so we finally get that. Do we get new Halo stuff? Like, what possibly could we get, or what would get you hyped to hear about from Xbox?
Well, obviously new Halo stuff would get me hyped.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Halo Infinite?
I haven't beaten the campaign. I like the multiplayer. The multiplayer is a lot of fun, actually. I have played the multiplayer. I got back. I think I played it some last week. Like, I've been playing a bit since Season 5 launched. It's a good time. Like, they made a lot of good changes. Forge in that game is kind of wild. They also added, like, they have AI in that game, and people are doing crazy things. And, like, making firefight missions and stuff like that in Forge, which is kind of wild. So I think Halo could be cool. I also
like,
do expect,
what are you thinking, like a sequel, or are you just talking about like more content? Like, all right, season, I don't know what the season they're up to, but like this new content, or are you thinking there's like a spin-off game, like an ODST situation, or Reach, kind of like, how they did like little spin-off games like that?
Yeah, I think anything would be cool. I don't know. I think they said recently that they're not really doing, they were like, yeah, we're not actually doing single player DLC. But I don't actually think,
wild, because that was the original
that was the
intent.
whole idea.
Like, before it came out, they're like,
Yeah.
Infinite is like the final game for the foreseeable future. Okay, and the idea was basically every couple years it just gets a big update with new story story missions. And yeah, when they came out, that was like earlier this year, right? And they're just like, no, we're done. Like, well, we're gonna work on multiplayer, but single player is like, we're hanging it up. It's like, whoa, that's wild to me.
I feel like they got to do something. I think I doubt that it's the end of Halo single player. I'm expecting they'll do something at some point. I don't know if we're gonna get anything here.
Yeah.
I do think we probably get the Slim, but
yeah, didn't they announce some sort of trailer or announcement for Halo Infinite though before the Game Awards?
I was gonna say, I
thought there was because they posted a picture that looked just like the
was
GTA.
A meme because so many devs have done this, and I don't know if it was a joke because of GTA 6 or if they're actually doing something.
Okay.
They said new trailer Monday, December 4th, 9 a.m. That was today.
Oh. Did they announce Did they announce anything today?
They announced Firefight King of the Hill comes to Halo Infinite on December 5th.
So tomorrow.
That's the December update. Okay.
So you're probably not going to get much more from Halo. I mean, you never know. They could surprise. That's the thing. They could be like, here is story missions for single player. Like here they tease us with like multiplayer and everyone's like, oh, bummer. And then come Thursday, like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Like that's crazy. Like they could do that. Like Xbox has done crazy things in the past. They literally announced the Xbox Series X at a Game Awards. Like people weren't expecting that. All of a sudden it's like a trailer. Everyone thinks it's a game trailer. And that's like, oh no, they're announcing their brand new console that comes out in a year. Like that was wild. Or I guess it was 2 years, wasn't it? I don't remember. But either way, there could be Halo there. You never know. But yeah, so you think probably more heavily though it could be like the slim console.
I highly expect. We're like how many years out from the Series X? 4, 3? When did
they came out in
19?
No, it would have been 2020, wasn't it?
Was it COVID? Was it 2020?
November 10th, 2020. Yeah, so it's been 3 years. We're like,
I'd expect something.
We're coming up on the halfway point of the generation. Typically, the standard, because most generations are like 7 years long. So we're coming up on the
3 different Xbox 360s. So like
that's true.
We haven't seen anything, and we had two Xbox Ones. So like, it was just the one and the X, right? Oh, 3 because it was one S through X.
Yeah,
right?
They had they had the S and the X scheme. Yeah, so it was like the 1 and then the S and then the X came out.
Yeah.
But
they usually do 3, so I would highly expect that we get something that line.
Yeah, like we already. Whether it's the new X or the new, because wasn't there also updates happening to the S as well, like getting a bigger hard drive, or did that already happen? Am I getting things mixed up? It's hard. There's so many like rumors that fly around nowadays, and then we talk about in the show. It's so hard to keep things straight, like what's real and what was a rumor, like what actually got announced. It's like, I don't know.
I bought a PC and I stopped paying attention to Xbox, unfortunately. I was like, yeah. For
years, Adrian's been like, "Oh, I gotta get a Series S, get a Series X." I'm like, dude, I got a computer that can play 99% of the games.
Yeah.
Like any Xbox exclusives come to this, and then the Game Pass library is huge on there as well. So it's like, I see no reason to buy an Xbox when I got this.
And
machine
they're okay
right
with that. Microsoft is okay with that, and so I'm
fine. They're fine. They're not hurting.
No.
The second part of this news story is. I'm coming from IGN here. Taylor Lyles writes, Geoff Keighley confirms the Game Awards will move away from world premiere label and beef up security. Geoff Keighley has shared some new information and changes coming to the Game Awards this year, including stepping back from the world premiere label, weighing in on the discourse surrounding Dave the Diver being nominated as an indie game, and beefing up security to avoid future stage crashers. In a stream yesterday from the Game Awards Q&A session, Keighley answered one viewer's question about how many world premieres would appear at the show this year. Keighley disclosed that he is not sure of a firm number and said it would be around the same, but then segued to discuss what constitutes a world premiere. Actually, you'll see this year we often put up those cards, world premiere, we're kind of moving away from that just because everything's kind of, is it a first look? Is it an announcement, etc. Keighley said, so we just treat it all as great game content. Thanks, Geoff. What a bizarre, like everyone understands what a world premiere is. You're the only one who's confused, dude. You're the only one. It's always the same thing. It's always.
Does it mean nothing technically? Yes. But like also, it doesn't hurt anything.
Generally, a world premiere was, as far as my experience has been, anytime they've used that term, it's always relating to, oh, this game previously didn't have any trailer, and now this is the first trailer ever to be shown.
Sure.
Like, that's the only time I've ever seen it. So I don't understand his argument where it's like, oh, is it this? Is it that? It's like, no, it's not. It's always the same thing. Like, it's very obviously like this game didn't have a trailer before. All we knew is either A, we knew it existed but had never seen anything from it, or B, we didn't know it existed at all.
Yeah.
And this is the first time the world is being premiered a trailer for this game. Like, it's very, very easy to define. So I don't know what his deal is, but whatever, Geoff, you do you. When asked if they would add extra security measures to avoid stage crashers, Keighley confirmed they are, but avoided going into specifics as to not give potential stage crashers any revealing information. Yeah, we are, he replied. We don't want to talk about that stuff too publicly just because it's security. Keighley tightening up on security is not surprising. Last year's Game Awards saw someone crash the stage towards the very end and approaching the mic and making the infamous Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton comment. And then less than a year later, after the incident at Gamescom Opening Night Live, another event Keighley hosts, 2 attendees crashed the stage during the opening remarks for the show. The crasher made references to the Game Awards intruder, as well as references to Grand Theft Auto 6. It's just so wild. It's like twice, like last year's Game Awards and then again later this year. It's like he's gotten hit twice by these crashes. Like, dude, I don't know. It just seems so wild to me that they don't have any security in place. So I'm expecting to see like a line of just people in suits along the front of the stage, checking IDs. Anytime they announce an award, like, and the winner goes to Alan Wake 2 or whatever for Game of the Year. And like, as people are going up on stage, they're like stopping people and they have like a little notebook with like pictures, like, okay, yep, you're good. All right, you're good. It's like, meanwhile, the guy with the award is just waiting up there like, all right, like, are they going to accept this award or what are we doing now? Like, I don't know. It just seems like, how do you stop that? I don't know. Because that's what the kid last year, he just walked up. They announced, was it Elden Ring?
With the group. Yeah.
He just walked up with the group. So everyone thought he was one of the devs. The devs up there didn't know who he was, but they thought maybe he was security. Security thought he was just one of the devs. And then he grabbed the mic and was like rambling on. I don't know how you stop that, but all right. Maybe they'll have like developers will have like specific colored badges. Like, oh, if you have like a purple badge, you are a game developer, and everyone else has pink or something like that. Like,
easy.
Maybe that's what they'll do.
Simple fix. Yeah.
Seems logical, but who knows? Beefing up some security. So that's unfortunate because that was the best part of the show, you know?
It was. The memes from that were incredible. Yeah, that was very funny.
Oh man. And then he also dove into some controversy regarding Dave the Diver's nomination for Best Indie Game, explaining that the Game Awards defers to the jury to determine what constitutes the independent game or not, adding that independent can mean different things to different people, and it's sort of a broad term, right? So the controversy here is Dave the Diver was nominated for Best Indie Game, but the game is actually made by a group named Mint Rocket, which is a smaller game. It's part of Nexon, which I think is connected. It's connected to some other big publisher. Can't find the article here right now, but basically there's some controversy where it's like, that's not an indie game. Like, like Matt Pescateller, there's a tweet here. It says Baldur's Gate 3 is an independent game. Dave the Diver is not an independent game.
Right.
So yeah, best independent game. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't even get a nomination, which is wild. But Dave the Diver did, which is made by ultimately this, Mint Rocket, which is connected to a much, much bigger studio, which off the top of my head, I don't remember who it was. He just says, basically he just blames it on the jury. He's like, it's not up to me. He's like, I don't make the set up the ballots. He's like, I just have outlets and they send me their recommendations and then we put it on the board. So if they think it's an independent game, we'll take it. Which is kind of like, you'd think there'd be some sort of like wrangling going on, right? Like that's his whole point. Like it's his show. There should be some moderation happening. Like, oh, wait a second. Like that's not an indie game. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. Like I do also get where they're coming from, where it's like it has an indie game vibe, which is like from everything. I haven't played Dave the Diver, but I've heard only good things. And it seems like it has that like indie game vibe. But like it is not technically an indie game. So like I get it, but like it can make sense why you would think that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I same. I when I saw it, I assumed it was an indie game as well until I heard about the articles. Like just by looking at it, I'm like, oh, this has exactly indie game vibes, the graphical style and whatnot. I have not played it, but I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And in all intents and purposes, Mint Rocket is very much like a smaller studio themselves. Like Mint Rocket is small, from what I understand. But it's just the fact that, unfortunately, they're connected to Nexon, and that's what's freaking people out. Everyone's like, wait, they're connected to this big company. It's like, well, okay, yeah. Like, yes, but I don't know. Yeah, Nexon, here it is. So Nexon, I'm curious what else, Nick, did you look it up at all or no?
I have not, no.
Oh, here we go. So Nexon is basically known for Maple Story.
Okay.
Dungeon and Fighter came out in 2005. Maple Story came out in 2003. Kart Rider in 2004. A bunch of games you've probably never heard of.
I've heard of Maple Story.
That's like the only one I have heard of. Probably is Maple Story.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they worked on Counter-Strike Online in 2008 with Valve. FIFA Online 3 back in 2012. They helped Square Enix develop Final Fantasy 14 for Korea back in 2013. So it's like they either help studio. It's like a helper studio basically. Nexon works on a lot of stuff. It's like they did the online service for Titanfall back in 2016.
Okay.
That type of thing. So I don't know. Very interesting. So there you have it. There's all the Game Awards news. Lots of stuff coming from Geoff Keighley over there. Remember to tune in Thursday night, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Twitch.tv/The Super Gamer Boys, YouTube.com/Super Gamer Boys. Pretty much anywhere. Just follow us. We'll definitely be posting about it. Join us as we react to all the sorry, what do we call them if they're not world premieres? I don't know. The reveals.
Wait.
The grand reveals.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.